Hello, happy June, happy Pride Month. We are here again for the reading vlog of this month. We start off straight ahead with a banger. I did finish a book. I finished it yesterday and it was the 2nd of June, so we're very much ahead. We're like fucking strong this month. And it was Wicked. I finally finished this. Felt like I was never going to, or I was gonna DNF it, or just like get incredibly bored and just keep it going for months. But I did it because yesterday we were at the beach and I had the time of my life. First of all, because there was an amazing weather, there was an amazing breeze, and the sun was right. So like it was just so nice, so relaxing. And I read a lot. Thank goodness this book got interesting at the ending, like kind of the last 100 pages and a little more. This was not the I was expecting. No, it wasn't. What should I say about this book? First of all, I am giving this 2.75 stars, and it's because this was incredibly underwhelming. Just so different from what I loved of Wicked, of the story of Elphaba and Glinda, and I'm not mad about that. I'm not giving this a low rating because I was expecting something else. No, I kept my mind open. I told you guys, if you watched the previous rating vlog, that I was enjoying it. Like, I was a little bit before the half of it, and you know, I was enjoying it, even though it was very different there too. So problem was not that. The problem was that I didn't like Elphaba's development. I didn't like the narration of so many pieces of the story and so many characters' perspectives that were not really important to the story, and it just made the book longer. It made the book more boring, and honestly I did think about putting this down for various reasons, and one of them was that the author just introduced so many characters, and with no apparent reason, because on the next scene he makes them tragically die, and it just became very predictable at some point that whenever you got into a new situation in the book, you knew that one of the new characters were gonna die, either one or all of them, and honestly, it wasn't necessary. This could have been much shorter. It would have been more enjoyable because I did enjoy a lot of this. The ending part was very interesting because all the pieces were coming together, and I really appreciated how they were coming together. Glinda was not useless, but almost, and Elphaba did not pass the vibe check. Honestly, she was actually really mean. She was evil and she was murderous, and I didn't care enough for the reasons. So there goes Wicked. This is the first in a series. I think it's a tetralogy, so like it's 4 books, and I did read the premise for the next book, which is Son of the Witch, and I find it interesting. I find the premise interesting, but I found the premise interesting for this too. So if I have to fucking read 340 pages and getting bored again, I'm gonna think about it. Also because the available editions are not gonna match this one. Like, they're just gonna be a different height or a different graphic, and I really don't enjoy that. I'm sorry, okay? Don't judge a book by its cover, my ass. Anyways, with this, we do get the Centennial Picks bookmark on Goodreads, which is amazing. We now have 4 out of 7, which means we're missing 3. I'll see which read is my next. I was thinking of going to Neverfade or The Farm, because The Farm is a little bit more of a psychological thriller, and Neverfade is second in a trilogy, and it's fantasy. So I also did pick out my next read, and it is The Farm by Tom Rob Schmidt. This is a thriller. It's a psychological thriller in which the main protagonist, who, by the way, I just found out because I'm like 6% in, not very much into it, but like I found out it's a gay man, which we love and appreciate in a thriller. Like, that almost never happens. He gets called by his dad because his mother is sick. She's having hallucinations. She's blaming everybody because they want to kill her. So he's actually describing psychosis. He's describing a schizophrenia attack, okay? But at the same time, he gets in contact with his mother, who tells him that the father is accusing her of something really bad and that she's totally fine, she's totally sane, and she wants to tell him the truth. So, this is actually very fucking interesting, and I will update you guys with this. Hello, good morning. I did want to give you guys a little update on my read. And also, I wanted to add something about Wicked, okay? Because I think it was really important, and I didn't mention it before. I was really disappointed in how the plot was kind of like too lengthened, so that we missed very important points. Honestly, I think the person who summarized it and like changed it and adapted it for the musical did a very good job, because I think one of the like most important plot lines on Wicked up there is the persecution of animals and the laws against them, which is kind of course reflected into, you know, like racism and, you know, all of the green skin as well. Like, everything was connected, and it did talk about something very important in our society. And in the book, it was just so, not subtle, but spread out through the book that you wouldn't really get it if you didn't watch the movie, in my opinion, or if you hadn't watched the musical. Anyways, so little update on The Farm. I am a little bit like 40% into it, and I am not particularly loving this. Let's just say that by the style of the author, I thought this was his debut novel, but it's not. So I don't know if I'm just really into how he writes. Also, I want to show you. It's just like, it's divided into paragraphs. I don't know, like, I'm not, yeah, you see? Paragraphs. And I don't know how I feel, and also I don't know how I feel about the storytelling, because everything is being told by the mother's perspective, and like she's actively telling what happened from the beginning to the end, and that's how we're finding out everything. But I am not convinced. I really am not convinced. And, you know, I'm also looking at this through the perspective of a psychologist. I mean, I don't know. For now, it is very clear that she is schizophrenic and that she has paranoia, and she's trying to convince the reader and the son that she doesn't. But it looks like, from the style of the book, that we're supposed to believe the mother. But it's, in my eyes, it is clear that we shouldn't. So I don't know. I'll let you know more later. What the fuck? Okay, so, hi. I finished The Farm. I didn't like this book. I did not like this book. I think I'm gonna give this a 1.25 stars. It has been just an incredible amount of confusion and boredom and skimming. Honestly, I did like the ending part. I didn't like the ending. I did like the ending part, like the part that was leading up to the ending itself. But I really did not enjoy this book. I did not enjoy the author's writing style at all, and this didn't. I was not satisfied with this. I'm sorry. My expectations were not satisfied at all. You wanna know what's funny, actually? The fact that I went over to my Goodreads to see what I thought about The Darkest Minds, which I read in 2017,
Let It Be Heard, 2017. I said, I love this book. Give me Never Fade right now. I need it. And I'm reading Never Fade 6 years later. Bro, I would be so disappointed in myself, honestly. And I don't even know why I hadn't picked this up yet. Because I do own In the Afterlife, which is the third book in the series. I think I found In the Afterlife for like 3 to 4 euros on Amazon for some weird reason in 2017 or 2016. But I never found this and never bought it, never bought it until this moment. So I did start Never Fade. I am around 20% into it. I am really enjoying it so far. I had to catch up a bit with what happened 6 years ago when I first read the first book. And, you know, it's becoming clearer and clearer. I did watch a few videos. I did read up a few summaries of what happened in the first book. I'm not a person who rereads. I am very sorry. I have very little time and I am not gonna waste it on books that I already read. I know it's really hard to believe, but that's how it is. So Never Fade, I am really enjoying this, even though it's not very much my style, because this is about secret operations and plans to escape. It's just not my vibe. I don't even know what my vibe is. But for those who don't know, The Darkest Minds is I think, dystopian fantasy trilogy in which there was a virus, a pandemic that killed most of the children in the world. And those who survived developed abilities, powers, special powers. And the protagonist of this series is Ruby, who developed mental powers. She can read minds, okay? And they are thrown into these concentration camps, these prisons, in which they are just kept away from society because they're rejected from society. People don't want them around. They treat them like shit, everything else. So I can't really talk much about this book specifically because it is the second book in the series. What I'm going to say is that I am really enjoying it and the pacing is really nice. I'm flying through it, honestly. One thing that I'm not really enjoying is one particular trope that came up in this book, which is, little tiny spoiler, the brother trope. If you've read this, you might understand. So yeah, I really hope this doesn't go into the direction I'm fearing will go in. But yeah, so this is it. I also did start Bat Eater. This is one of the picks for the AAPI Goodreads challenge, which is basically novels written by Asian authors. And I am really, really enjoying it. I did read just a chapter and a half, but you gotta read the first chapter to understand what I mean, that I'm already fucking hooked. It's crazy. So basically it is about this girl called Zhang, who basically is a crime scene cleaner. And she notices that most of the women that they've cleaned up the scenes for were all Asians. And it all comes back to one episode in the past that she witnessed in which her sister got murdered after the killer said the 2 words, Bat Eater. This is all happening during COVID times. This is 2020. And you guys all know, hopefully, what happened in the beginning stages of the pandemic, in which Chinese people were, throughout the whole thing, Chinese people especially were just outcasted and called names. And people did start believing that they would eat fucking bats. And so this is very much all about that. It is about racism. It is about murders against Asian women, and it is just very strong and gory. I will tell you that, but it sounds really promising. So I am still reading Never Fade. I'm 50% into it really enjoying it. But I'm also watching The Darkest Minds, like the movie that they did for the first book that I've never seen. And you know, this was kind of an opportunity to like actually jump back into what happened in the first book to refresh my memory. And this movie fucking sucks. Like, it's so bad. Was the book that bad? And it wasn't. Come on, it can't be. Can't have been that bad. Cause like Ruby and Liam have this flirt in the first 30 minutes of the movie. Where is the slow burn? Where is the true romance? This feels so forced. Was it like this in the book too? Anyways, I finished it. I finished Never Fade. It is well overdue. I don't know why it took me so long. It did kind of pick up after page 200, like, because I went really slow until page 200, and then just like, oh my god, like, it was very, very nice. It was very, very fast at some point. I think that Alexandra Bracken did a great job with the writing and everything, which made it feel very fast-paced in a good way. This was very action-packed. I wouldn't say this is kind of giving the second book syndrome, in which the second book kind of serves into a transition towards the third book. I didn't feel that, to be honest. I mean, not entirely. This kind of reminded me of Mockingjay somehow. Like, this was very Operation, this was very action-packed, this was very revolutionary. Yes, that's kind of the vibe that I felt from this. I did not see coming all of the plot twists that Alexandra Bracken put in this. I really enjoyed all of them, except for one. And if you have read Never Fade, you know what I'm talking about. I've always known. Okay, I need to give a little bit of a spoiler here, so skip a few seconds, a few minutes. Ever since Jude was introduced, I was like, okay, this character is extremely sweet. It's being portrayed as like the most pure and immature child, like in a good way, naive child. He's gonna die. And he did, guys. And he did. I knew it. It really pained me because I did like the character. And you know, a lot of the other characters that I don't like are still alive, which but other than that, I really enjoyed this book. I gave this 3.85 or something because it's not the book's fault. It's just, it doesn't really align with what I usually like to read. Like, I don't really like to read about like expeditions and operations and wars and revolutions, though it is very, very current. And I think that's why. I think because this is so current, and I'm trying to, like, by reading a book, I'm trying to escape this awful reality. What the fuck is that? I'm trying to escape this awful reality. I tend not to look for it in a book, which doesn't mean I don't enjoy it, because I did enjoy this book. It just didn't provoke those, you know, like, exciting feelings and like, oh my god, I love this book so much, which is fair, I think. So I will be reading In the Afterlight next month. I promise I will not be letting another 6 years go by until the next book. So yeah, I think also today I should receive some book mail, so I will be choosing my next read when it arrives. So I've been reading Bat Eater, and it honestly is making me go crazy. It is actually so scary. This book is so scary, and I'm feeling right now like it's gonna be groundbreaking for me. This book is gonna wreck me. This book is gonna be monumental for me. I can feel it. And I know that I am probably like too excited about this, and I'm probably looking too far ahead like I did with Yellowface, but I am feeling great things from this book. This book feels very promising, and I cannot wait to read more. I'm currently around 40%, and I'm just so excited. I'm Like, it's just turning into something that I wasn't expecting. Because it's turning into a ghosty vibes, a paranormal vibe, and I wasn't expecting that. And I've never read anything like this, and it's eerie, it's scary, it's creepy, it's, I don't know how to describe it, guys. It's just proceeds to say like 1,000 adjectives to describe it. Anyways, no, I'm really liking this. And saying that Bat Eater was my best read of the year would just undermine it. It would not be enough to express how much I've loved this book. Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker was a masterpiece. Just a fully structured masterpiece. I love this book so much. There was nothing I didn't like about this book. I did go into it kind of blindly, as people might have noticed. I just don't read a lot of the plot before reading the book. I didn't know what was going on at the beginning of it because I did read the blurb like very fast. I was expecting more of a literary fiction or contemporary novel, but what I came across was something completely different, something that I had never read before. It is listed as a horror. I didn't see that. I was not expecting the creepy vibes, the gore, the just staying on the edge for the whole time. I was not expecting that, and thank God I wasn't, because it made the experience a lot better. I urge you to just go and read books without knowing too much about it, because it is really the best way to enjoy a book. It was a perfect mixture of horror, gore, but also like the real aspects of life, you know, like the societal consequences of COVID for Chinese individuals, or just like the traditions in Chinese culture, which were so interesting to me. And I just didn't know anything about that. So it was just eye-opening. It was creepy. It was anger-inducing. It was interesting. It was just... The thing is, I loved everything about this book. I loved every character on this book. Even the main character, Cora Zhang, which was supposed to be like those weak girls that couldn't defend themselves and didn't have the strength to speak up for themselves and to differentiate themselves from their sister, or, you know, to act on, you know, an issue or a danger or a dangerous situation. She was like that, and she was just so well written that I enjoyed that too. I understood her. I was with her. You guys, I am fully invested in this. I love this book so fucking much. It just had everything. It had the emotional impact. It had the hook on me. It just had me like curious about what it was talking about. I just really enjoyed this, and I don't know if anything is gonna top this at this point this year, because it was just great. It was really, really great. I was feeling like this for I Who Have Never Known Men, but the ending disappointed me. This was perfect throughout the whole thing. Chapter 1, oh my fucking god. Chapter 25, which was the last one, oh my fucking god. Like, there was not one instance in which I felt bored or uninterested to go on. I just had to take breaks because it was gory, okay? It's a horror, so if you don't like body gore, if you don't like deep descriptions of murders, can I say that on YouTube? I don't know, but you should check the trigger warnings for this because it's very graphic. I enjoyed it. Honestly, I thought it was a plus on this because like you could visualize everything that was described, and not in a kind of like manic, weirdly like true crime interested way, it was supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, because these were murders that were happening on a certain ethnicity. They were targeted towards a certain ethnicity. They were filled with anger. They were filled with hate, and you had to feel uncomfortable. You didn't have to be interested because it was creepy or because you like scary stuff. It wasn't about that. I just think this was great all around. I just love this so much. I love the twist. I love just everything about this book. I don't know how to put this into words. I've talked 6 minutes on this without the editing, but it's just, I love this so much, and I think I'm gonna get a copy of this. I did read this digitally because it's a relatively new book. I think it came out last year or like the beginning of 2024. So the edition that I want is really, really expensive. So I don't know. I want to own the book, because when I read a book that I really, really liked, I need to have a trophy of it. And also, I think the edition is incredible. So I'll keep it in my radar. I did just start Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. This is one of the this is one of the picks for the Rainbow Goodreads Challenge, which of course is the Pride one. I don't know if I'm going to finish this challenge, honestly, because after this I would have to read another book, and today's the 20th. So in 10 days, can I read 2 books with all the exams and having to move back home? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if that's possible. I'm gonna try. I picked this one because it was on the list, and it was one of the shortest. This has around like 280 pages, I think. And I don't even know what it's about. But it was suggested to me by Goodreads because I was reading Bat Eater. So, I don't know. Hopefully I'm gonna like it. I will keep you guys updated. Okay, so I am in the middle of Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Griffin. I cannot tell you right now if I'm enjoying it or not. It's definitely the weirdest book I've ever read. I never would have thought that I would have read a book narrated by a fucking plant. I would really suggest you to read the synopsis on Goodreads for this novel, because it's really hard to describe. It is a queer novel. It's about a love story, but it's also a horror novel in which there's this evil and hungry plant that commands one of the 2 main characters to feed it. That means people, that means emotions, that means just one's true self. And the thing this orchid is the most hungry for is the girl. So it is pretty graphic. I'm not really sure if I enjoy the storytelling or the writing style of the author. I think she is trying too much with the descriptions and everything, and I don't think there's any character that I particularly like right now. I think I dislike most of them, and the ones I don't are neutral in my mind for now. So I don't know, but you know, in a day I'm just in the middle of it. I had to skim a bit because sometimes it got too much, but I am confident that in like 2 days I might be done with it. So that leads us to the possibility of actually being able to complete this challenge. Hello, so I did finish Eat the Ones You Love. We are very much ahead. I think we could complete the challenges. It is very exciting, I'm not gonna lie to you. But a brief update on this. I did not like this book. I mean, I gave this like 2.5 stars, which is not terrible because I've rated lower, but I don't think the writing style was for me. Even though I did enjoy the audiobook, like something happens towards the end and they choose to narrate it in a particular way that I've never heard before. That was really cool. I really liked it. But that was the only thing I appreciated about this. I think the concept was great. not executed in the way I wanted or expected. And even like the queerness to this, because I did pick this for the LGBT, like the rainbow read of the month, and it was not rainbow. The characters were really, really uninteresting or annoying. Like the ones I didn't hate, I just didn't have an opinion on them. So really, there was nothing I was looking forward. Like, there was not a reason I was looking forward to finishing this book, except for the challenge, except for like marking another book read. But it was really fast. I must admit the flow was great. I guess because no, that's not true. No, I'm just lying to myself. I think I don't want to like criticize a book a lot, because I know that, of course, like I don't want to like hate on a book because I didn't like it. That's not right. But I did force myself into reading this book, and I finished it in like not even 3 days. So that's good. But I don't think it was the writer's power that helped me to do that. It was just me. So yeah, I am not really satisfied with that, and I hope that the next read is going to be better. I am planning on reading Wild Dark Shore because it came out this year, and I've anticipated it like ever since I read about it. And apparently it is in the final Goodreads challenge that I have to do, which is basically like about trips and traveling. And so I'm gonna try and finish that before the 30th. Today is the 23rd, so I think we got some time, even though I do need to prepare my last exam, and I also am working this week, so we'll see. I also have to pack to go back home. We'll see. This is gonna be really hard, but I'm gonna try because it's my last one. I am sorry, I've been so terrible at this. I haven't vlogged anything at all. Even though I did start Wild Dark Shores, and I'm almost done with it. That's why I'm so terrible. Like, I didn't tell you anything about this book, and I am almost done. I'm like around like 91%. It's great. I am really enjoying this. It's giving me all the vibes that I was looking for. It's giving me the shock factor. It's giving me the good characters. I don't dislike any of the characters, and it's weird for me, especially coming from Eat the Ones You Love, in which I despised all of them. But this is very, very pleasant. This is about this family of four, a dad and 3 kids. They live in this deserted island very close to Antarctica, because they are just like guarding up the the labs and the seed banks in which there are stored like a lot of seeds for every species of the earth, in case humanity goes to shit. So like everything is stored there, and they're basically the only ones living in this island until a woman gets just brushed in from the sea onto the coast, in this coast that is constantly stormy, incredibly cold. And so there's a lot of mystery going on about like what happened on the island, and the stories intertwining with each other. It is just very, very fascinating, and I'm enjoying a lot of this. And I think I will update you whenever I finish it, so I give you like the closing up review of this. But highly suggested if you are looking for one of this kind of like thriller vibes scene. This is also, I'm reading this because it does complete the Goodreads challenge. This is like the armchair Goodreads little bookmark, because it's about trips, it's about vacations, and this is kind of included. Okay, I don't make the rules, but by completing this, I will be officially done with the Goodreads challenges. This makes me so proud. I was not expecting to finish them, but this is great, and this is giving me more LGBT content than the LGBT pick did, which is odd, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I have finished it. I finished Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, and I think I'm set on a 4.5 star rating. I did enjoy the reading. As I told you a little bit before, I really did enjoy everything about this book. There was a really tiny detail. I mean, it was an important detail at the end that I was not sure really was useful. But at the end of the day, like, if for the author it was like an impactful way to finish this, I absolutely respect it. I was not bothered by it. I was just a little confused because to me it didn't feel necessary. Anyways, I did really enjoy every character in this book, of course the good ones. So like Dominic, even though his audiobook actor was just, his voice was so deep that sometimes it disturbed my ears. Maybe it's my 24 euros headphones, but I don't know. Sometimes I was not like I couldn't read a Dominic's point of view without having the text in front of me, like the book in front of me, because I just couldn't grasp it. It was the voice, it was the low quality headphones, and it was the Australian accent, which I think also had a little bit of an impact. I really loved the kids. I loved Orly, even though I really do not like kids. I loved Fen. I loved my boy Raph. I loved Rowan. I think this was a really, really nice book. A really, really nice thriller. I did like all the thriller aspects to it. I think it was written beautifully. I wish we knew more about these voices that the characters, or like these apparitions and voices that the characters feel in the island. I wish that was a little bit more explored, because it was very fascinating to me. But overall, really, really nice read. And with this, we do complete. And with this, we complete the Goodreads challenges. Finally, I cannot believe that I did this. I really cannot. I was losing all the expectations and hopes for this. I'm really just completely proud of myself for doing this. And yeah. So today is the 28th of June. We do have a few days left in the month, so maybe I could sneak in a little read. Also because on the 30th, which is the last day of the month, of course, I am going back to my hometown. So that means 5 hours on the train, 5 hours and a half on the train. And after, like, as soon as I get on that train, I'm gonna be done with university, basically forever. I mean, it's gonna be my last exam ever, so that's exciting and a little scary. But I will not have any worries or anything to study on the train, so I will completely devote myself to a book, which is gonna be great and super rewarding. I am thinking of Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, just for the pure reason that this is filled with like just images and a very fast-paced form of narration. This is the third book in the Miss Peregrine series. This I paid like €6, by the way. Perfect conditions. I will never stop just screaming about awesome books and how good that website is. Anyways, this is, the kind of vibe we're going for. It's a little horror, and I really did enjoy the first two books in the series a long time ago. I think it was around like 2015, 2016. So I will have to catch up a little before going in. So I don't know how much you guys hear me, but I am at the train station waiting for my train, and I will be starting Library of Souls today. I do have like 7 hours in this fucking train that is already late. So I think we can manage to finish the book, honestly. I will try to update you as much as possible, but of course, like, I'm gonna be around people, so that's not really a possibility, right? But yeah, I will let you know tonight if I manage to finish it or not, and we can end the vlog right here. Hello, I'm home. I did not finish Library of Souls. I actually got like not even halfway through it. I think it's about like 45%. You'll wonder why I didn't finish this book after 6 hours of train. So I basically had the worst train ride of my life. I stood in that train for 10 hours. I'm not even kidding, because it was like 40 minutes late. And then there was an earthquake in Naples, which was like in the middle of the trip. And so we stood there for like 2 hours. And that amounted to around 3 hours of delay, in which the AC was fucking broken. I had to move my stuff from my coach to the other side of the train because I got assigned to another seat, but then the train was full. So eventually those people that had the seat that I was covering, they arrived,
And so I had to stay standing up for like 2 hours of the train ride, which was amazing. So I was not really in the best conditions of enjoying a book. I did my best. I really wanted to read this, but this means I have officially completed 6 books in the month of June, which is incredible. Like, I'm really proud of myself. I wish it would have been 7, but you know, it was just not the right condition. About Library of Souls, I am enjoying this book. I want to say that I was not prepared for the pacing of this book. I got around page 65 before the first chapter concluded, and that was hell. I didn't like that. I mean, it's just, I think that making chapters this long makes the pacing, like, makes it feel like it's very, very slow. And I, you know, it was not very enjoyable. The fact that these kids, they're traveling from place to another, I cannot spoil where because this is the 3rd book in the series. And they're traveling for the whole chapter, and it kind of got boring at a second just because there was never a pause. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason really. It was just like I was waiting for the chapter to end, and it just kept going and kept going, and kind of made the experience a little bit more frustrating. Honestly, I think it was just the train ride making it just unbearable. Other than that, I'm really enjoying the world building in this. I like the characters so far. I honestly read the 2nd book 10 years ago. I'm not even joking. And again, like, this is one of those books that I reviewed on Goodreads by saying like I need the other book now, I need the next book now, and I end up fucking continuing the series 10 years after. I'm not even joking. I read this in 2015. It's 2025 now. So yeah, basically I'm really enjoying the character. I did not really remember much, so I had to catch up yesterday. But honestly, I think I'm still vibing with this book. I'm still vibing with these characters. So I think that just wraps up this reading vlog. I'm gonna edit it now and post it. So that's gonna be exciting. Said nobody ever. Thank you for staying with me, even if you weren't. And I'll see you in July.